Here comes Success Coach Andy, the most beneficial advice program on the radio. For the next hour, you'll learn about success and happiness and how to take control of your life. And now, here's Success Coach Andy Shepherd.
This is Success Coach Andy. I'm Andy Shepherd of Shepherd Success Coaching, here with you every Monday at 9 p.m. on Independent Talk 1100 KFNX. For many people, there are areas in their life that are dreadful or even dire. My mission is to help transform them into becoming what they always wanted. Something happened the other day which kind of was pretty cool. Somebody said to me, Andy, you're the Sherlock Holmes of solving problems that other solutions can't solve, that are unsolvable, and that that leave people stranded in the dark. Quite an accolade, don't you think? Well, it's true. I have helped countless people with their unsolved personal problems and mysteries. I have succeeded where all others had failed. Once on the trail, there is no stopping me. Later on tonight's show, I will give you details on how I can free you from your Moriarty of a problem in a free 30-minute session. More on that later. Some of you may or may not know that President Obama was here in LA. I saw his motorcade go past and posted a video of it on Facebook. Different people reacted in different ways. These different reactions reminded me of how a person can appear as one thing to one person and a completely different person to another. To some, he was a tyrant, others a savior. For people in other countries, someone to be revered. How people received him was so radically different and broad, though we were talking about the same man. In fact, this situation is the same regarding any person, though admittedly presidents and peoples of power are always subject to broader swings of opinion. It reminded me of how we all appear differently to everyone around us. Some traits are the same, for sure, but there are some subtle or not so subtle differences created by our previous experiences, upbringing, conditioning, and so on. Whatever we do, we have some people who love us and we have some people who hate us. So the best thing to do is just be yourself and draw close the people who dig you and try to minimize time and contact with those who don't. There is something for you to think about. Tonight's topic is From Dreadful to Dream, Your Life Transformed. Let me tell you a little bit about myself. I'm a success coach. I have Sherlock Holmes-like abilities to track down your inner issues and bring them to justice. I have been doing this since 2009. It's been my privilege to work with hundreds of people from every walk of life, getting them better relationships, better income, happier lives, and generally getting them to getting control of their life and putting it in a direction that they want. So, tell me, you want to have a better life, don't you? And I'm sure you have a friend or relative who wants that too. Then you need to listen to this show tonight and get others to listen too. So go on, give them a text right now, but make sure that you don't go far and that you're listening and you come back soon. I'm all about getting more of what really fires us up. That really makes us wake up in the morning, leap out of bed and say, yes, let me at it. That's what I want for everybody. This radio show is all about how to get to your success fast, faster than a speeding bullet. Well, for some people it may be that way. Success is happiness, fulfillment, being where you want to be and staying there, getting out of where you don't want to be and getting out of being with who you don't want to be with. And generally just, like I say, taking control of your life and getting it in the direction that you want. We all own one magnificent piece of technology which is so incredible and so powerful. It can make the most amazing things happen and do and create just about anything. This piece of technology is called our mind. Unfortunately, like all powerful things, if used in the wrong way, it can cause the most terrible situations, conditions, and terrible lives for us. So please listen in every Monday at 9 p.m. and I will give you the tools you need to transform your life. Sound good? I hope so. If you've just tuned in, you're listening to Success Coach Andy. I'm Andy Shepherd on Independent Talk 1100 KFNX. I'm known as the Sherlock Holmes of success coaching. Set me hot on the trail of your Moriarty of all problems, past or present, and free yourself from its peskiness forever. It will amaze you on how much I can track down in a mere 30 minutes, and it's all free. That's right, no charge. Call me on 310-774-6691. That's 310-774-6691. Or email me on andy@successcoachandy.com. That's andy@successcoachandy.com. And book your free investigation today. So we're talking about from dreadful to dream, your life transformed tonight. Well, last week I talked about the fact that we have the power to do anything, be anything, be anyone, go anywhere, have whatever we want, riches, fame, we can have it all. We have this inner power within us, and once we unleash it, you can really go to some absolutely incredible places. So let's face it, a lot of us don't like where we are now. We're not actually getting to this place, are we? Let me tell you a little bit about a film that I saw a few days ago. It was split into two stories. One, after the lead actor had taken heed of one question, and the other where he had not. Do you want to know the question? The question was, there has to be more to life than this. In the situation where he did nothing and he didn't heed this, what happened was he was living a life where he was a slave to his job. He was working really, really hard, and he didn't like the job. Whatever money he had, he would squander on anything that would escape the pain from doing what he really hated. So he put it into alcohol, overeating, watching TV, spending it on getting a bigger and better car or a bigger house. He even had a wife that he didn't care for. Now and again he was cheating on her, quite often actually, and so on and so on. So the one who heeded the question, he planned out his life and how he wanted it in the minutest detail possible, and then went after it. He became rich, married the dream girl, worked when he wanted, played when he wanted, holidayed where and when he wanted. On his deathbed, the man that didn't heed the question saw how his life could have been and was full of regret. None of us want to be in that situation, do we? Well, the thing is that questions are very powerful, and we need to ask the right question. Okay, so the quality of your life, as Tony Robbins says, is down to the quality of your questions. Ask quality questions, you get a quality life. I'm known as the Sherlock Holmes of success coaching. Set me hot on the trail of your Moriarty of all problems, past or present, and free yourself from its peskiness forever. I will amaze you on how much I can track down in a mere 30 minutes, and it's all free. That's right, no charge. Call me on 310-774-6691. That's 310-774-6691. Or email me on andy@successcoachandy.com. That's andy@successcoachandy.com, and book your free investigation today. I'm Andy Shepherd of Shepherd Success Coaching. When we return, I'll tell you why we don't get the best out of our lives. You're tuned in to Success Coach Andy on Independent Talk, 1100 KFNX.
Sometimes when politicians don't know they're on camera, the truth slips out. That's what just happened to Christine Jones. In her TV ads, Jones talks tough on immigration. Jones says she'll secure the border and make the federal government pay the bill. But Jones knows that's not true. And Jones was recently caught on camera admitting her plan to bill the federal government won't work. Listen to Christine Jones in her own words.
They tried this whole billing the federal government thing before. All right? Which is why I said to the people of Arizona, you're going to have to pay for this.
So even while promising Arizonans one thing on TV, Jones gets caught admitting those same promises are phony. Haven't we had enough of politicians who promise one thing to our face, but say something else when they think nobody is listening? If we can't trust Christine Jones to tell us the truth now, how can we ever trust her to secure the border? Paid for by Ducey 2014. DougDucey.com.
Since 1980, Information Methods Incorporated has been a leader in technology consulting. The management experience of IMI's prime consultants and associates includes years of expertise in both public and private sectors. From assigning a project management officer to a complete end-of-project post-mortem, IMI applies industry standards and our own custom methodologies to ensure your next technology project is a success. For details and example solutions, visit www.imi-us.com. We measure our success by your success. Your partner, IMI.
Are you experiencing frustration or desperation and you don't know the way out? There is a solution. There is light beyond the tunnel. Start to live life on your terms, the way you've always wanted. Visit SuccessCoachAndy.com. SuccessCoachAndy.com. Change can happen in an instant. To learn more about Andy's seminars or for opportunities to have him as your personal coach, call 310-774-6691. That's 310-774-6691.
Tune in to the Edward Woodson Show with me, your host, Edward Woodson. We'll talk business, politics, and the things that really make you mad.
Catch the Edward Woodson Show, weekdays from 5 to 6 a.m., only on Independent Talk, 1100 KFNX.
You'll feel psyched up, tuned in, turned on, and mega-wired for sound. What? Yeah, tune in to Healthy House Calls. We discuss the secrets to wellness, longevity, and abundant energy. Tune in Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. as we broadcast live and direct from Healthy Habit Health Food Store.
Hi, I'm Patrick Phillips, host of Pop Culture Tonight. And when we say the stars have aligned, we mean it.
I'm Wendy Williams. Hi, this is Tony Dow.
This is Suzanne Summers.
Pop Culture Tonight, Saturdays at 5 p.m., right here on Independent Talk 1100. Hi, I'm Patrick Phillips, inviting you to join me this Saturday at 5 p.m. We're going inside Hollywood. Pop Culture Tonight. The stars have aligned. For guest information and more, log on to popculturetonight.com.
Hey now, you're an all-star. Get your game on, go play. Hey now, you're a rock star. Get the show on.
Welcome back to Success Coach Andy. I'm Andy Shepherd of Shepherd Success Coaching, here with you every Monday at 9 p.m. on Independent Talk 1100 KFNX. Tonight I'm talking about From Dreadful to Dream, Your Life Transformed. So, why don't we make the most of our lives? If what I'm telling you is true, and it really is, believe me, and that we can get whatever we want from our lives, why don't we go for it? Well, the answer's very complex. Let me just look at one aspect for now. I'll give you an English expression. I'm not sure whether you have this over here in America. We say, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And yes, I know the grammar is all wrong. What this basically means is that, you know, if it's working, you don't touch it. You just leave it alone. And I always really disliked this expression because to me, we should always be working at getting the optimum, getting the best out of our life, getting the best out of any situation. So when I was in the UK, I worked for a big computer company. I'm going to show my age now. I worked for a company called Digital Equipment Company, and that was in the 80s, the mid-80s, they were kind of level pegging IBM in popularity and in the scale of the company. So I remember as a repair engineer, one call that I went to specifically, because when I went into repair computers in offices or wherever, you kind of got into whatever was happening in the workplace. And I remember some of the people talking to me, they were talking to a girl and they mentioned her to me and said, you know, this girl, she's got a boyfriend that she kind of cares for, but, you know, he's not really the one for her. And we're telling her to, you know, that she should, you know, stop dating him and go and find somebody better because she can do much better than this. And I looked at her and I really couldn't believe it because she was a very, very attractive woman. And it just seemed crazy to me because I thought, well, you know, basically I'm sure that she could have pretty much any guy would want to date her. I mean, I certainly did. Because of my job and being professional, obviously, I didn't mention that to her. So one thing that I did say, yeah, she was attractive and she should go and try and, you know, just why wouldn't she go and find somebody else? So, and she said, well, you know, she was kind of used to being with him. And she said, I really don't feel as if I'll find anybody else. And she really, really believed that. So, you know, as Henry Ford says, if you believe if you believe you can or you believe you can't, you're right. And basically that was what she had told herself, that it was impossible for her to find somebody else. So that became reality for her. Her issues were really there were a multitude of issues. One was self-worth. And also, now that I've lived in a small city, which is where she was living, I can understand things better as well. I lived in a city called, a small town actually, called Overton in Nevada. And there, you know, you could get to the stage where you just thought, well, anybody who's suitable and female and finds me attractive, you'd consider dating them. So I can understand that. And, you know, basically there was probably familiarity with him. You know, she knew what was good about him and what was bad. And, you know, basically back to the same story. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Another thing now as a coach that I learned as well was something from Tony Robbins called 6 human needs. And I'm certain that one of her top human needs was her need for certainty. And so with her boyfriend, she had this certainty that they would be, that, you know, he'd stay with her and that they would be together. So this also gave her the need to stay with him, and probably low down on her list of 6 was uncertainty. She, you know, if you're going to break up with somebody, you've got the uncertainty that somebody else is going to date you. You know, it's going to take a while until you can find somebody else. So basically what we need to make any kind of change is we need this commitment to change. We need this commitment no matter what. We need to be able to really think about, well, you know, I'm going to get this done, and I'm willing to pay the price. And in her case, she certainly wasn't. So I never went back to see her or never talked to any of the other people there, so I've got no idea what happened. I hope she didn't end up marrying him, because that would be dreadful, because, you know, she obviously didn't care that much for him. Oh, what a pity. If you've just tuned in, you're listening to Success Coach Andy. I'm Andy Shepherd on Independent Talk 1100 KFNX. I'm known as the Sherlock Holmes of success coaching. Set me hot on the trail of your Moriarty of all problems, past or present, and free yourself from the peskiness forever. It will amaze you on how much I can track down in a mere 30 minutes, and it's all free. That's right. The first 30 minutes, there's going to be no charge. So call me on 310-774-6691. That's 310-774-6691. Or email me on andy@successcoachandy.com. That's andy@successcoachandy.com. and book your free investigation today. So let's continue talking about From Dreadful to Dream, Your Life Transformation. Well, one thing I'd like to talk about a little bit is about the law of attraction. So some of you may have heard of this from The Secret, the book, or the film. And basically this really is something that is for real. It is a law. Einstein actually talked about this. He talked about the fact that everything is energy, and we do have an impact energetically on each other, and our thoughts do have an impact because our thoughts are energy, if you like. Okay, this is getting way too woo-woo. I do apologize for this, so let me bring it down several notches. So the girl in this situation, she was basically, by thinking about what she didn't want, she was attracting it. So she was just staying in the situation. And if she got out of the relationship, she would probably keep attracting she would think, oh, I can't find a boyfriend, and that's what would happen. I mean, you know that this can be true because, from body language, if you're feeling depressed, you're going to be showing it from your body and so on. So there's different ways of being able to perceive what I'm saying may or may not be true. She had a fear of the unknown. So she was just not willing to move on. And this was really, really a shame. So we really need to move on and be able to change things. This is crucial. What I'm going to say now is something, we need to take this seriously. This is our life that we're talking about. We need to always be improving, growing, and moving upwards. Imagine what it would be like if at the end of a life we didn't make a change. So, we really need to make up and change things and just make it happen. So what I want you to do is I want you to do a little exercise. I just want you to think about something that you've got that you're not changing at the moment. Something that is, whatever it is, whether it's a job, a relationship, lack of money, whatever it is. And I'm going to go through this really, really quickly now, but I'd like you to kind of do a meditation on it, if you like. So just think about how it'll be in 6 months if you don't change. How will it be in 1 year? How will it feel? How will it feel if you don't make that change, if you don't do something about it? If you stay in that job, in that relationship, how will it be in 2 years from today if you don't make that change? If you continue with the job which is really making you sick and you're working too much and is stressing you out, how will it be in 5 years' time, in 10 years' time, in 20 years' time? And with that feeling, I'd like you to really start making a decision that you really want to make a change. And just say, I'm going to do it. And even write it down and refer to it constantly, that you're going to make the change, whatever you committed to. I'm Andy Shepherd of Shepherd Success Coaching. When we return, I'm going to tell you more about how to inspire yourself to make the changes you need to make. This is something that is very critical, because if you're not inspiring yourself to do this, you're not going to move forward. And that is something that I definitely want for you. With this inspiration and this determination, then you will have the motivation to really make it happen, to just grab whatever you want. You're tuned in to Success Coach Andy on Independent Talk 1100 KFNX.
You're listening to Independent Talk 1100 KFNX. Currently ranked in the top 10 by Ranking Arizona. Listen to us worldwide at 1100KFNX.com.
This is the Blaze Radio News. I'm Greg Moore. Congress is expecting to go on a 5-week summer break with no plan in place, surprise, to deal with the flood of illegals coming across the border. The Blaze Radio's Kay Long offering up one plan.
Democratic Texas Congressman Henry Cuellar saying there needs to be more urgency to solve the border crisis. Cuellar working with Texas Republican Senator John Cornyn to write a bill speeding up the process of deporting the illegals. He explains one of the points of the plan.
Instead of waiting 2, 3, 4, 5 years for a hearing, we want to put these individuals before a judge.
But Cuellar says the president would still have to sign the bill if it makes it through to his desk, and the administration not happy with this plan.
When the White House says it doesn't meet the standards, well, we're using the standards they suggested to us, right. And if they have a better idea, talk to us.
Exactly.
Cuellar appearing on Fox News.
A bipartisan $17 billion bill to fix the Veterans Administration is in the planning stages. The story from the Blaze Radio's Brad James.
The bill includes emergency spending for more doctors and nurses and 27 new clinics. It also makes it easier for veterans to see doctors outside the VA when they can't get a VA appointment. Florida Republican Congressman Jeff Miller co-authored the bill.
Helping to get veterans off of waiting lists is extremely important, and this bill does that.
In reaction to the bill fix for the VA.
Well, I think this is a positive thing. Finally the government has acted. We now have some legislation. It took probably too long to get us there, but we all know the problems here in Washington, D.C. that causes those issues. We have a VA secretary coming in who has an association with the military, and equally important, he is a very successful businessman.
That's former Vice Chief of Staff of the U.S. Army and retired 4-star General Jack Keane on Fox News.
This is news on the Blaze Radio Network. Truth lives here.
The war on drugs and crime has become a war on humanity. Read about 11 female inmates and the atrocities they experienced in the notorious Tent City. Authored by KFNX's own Dr. Kim, host of Whisper Out Loud Radio, this newly released memoir by Dr. Kimberly Shedrick and Christopher Colin gives a glimpse into criminality, education, training, and the awareness needed to change recidivism rates. Black and white in stripes in Sheriff Joe's Tents, Memoir of the New American Princess. Available on Amazon.com.
Hi, I'm Steve Cates, host of A Call to Rights here on KFNX. If you haven't heard our show every Saturday from noon to 2, you're missing out on the greatest in news, commentary, and guests discussing your rights under our Constitution. The latest updates on how to protect your rights from an out-of-control government. And you'll learn our most important motto, how never to be a victim. If you're concerned with the direction our country is going, tune in and learn how to help take it back. Take back your rights on A Call to Rights with me, Steve Cates, Saturdays at noon on KFNX.
You see, this is a radio talk show. This is not the news. If you want the news, I don't even know where to tell you to go because there is no news. CNN is not the news. MSNBC is not the news. NBC, ABC, CBS, they all are biased. The only difference between Michael Savage and them is I tell you what I think. I don't try to make believe I'm neutral. I am not neutral. I am not neutral. I am not neutral.
The Savage Nation. Independent talk. 1100 KFNX.
An education lasts a lifetime. If your child's school isn't challenging them and preparing them for the future, apply today for an education savings account and give your child access to the school setting that best meets their needs. 1 in 5 Arizona students are eligible for a state-funded education savings account to pay for private school, homeschooling, or online classes. To find out if an education savings account is the right fit for your child, visit askamomaz.org. To qualify for next school year, apply before May 1st. Visit askamomaz.org.
The folks at Fullerton Financial Planning understand how important it is to have faith in your retirement planning process. Fullerton Financial is an experienced team that's responsive and understands your need for integrity and transparency. Fullerton Financial Planning is one of the most respected financial planning firms in Arizona. Contact Stephanie Fullerton, the president of Fullerton Financial, today at 800-521-6059. That's 800-521-6059.
Hi, Rick and Dave here.
The Elton Brothers on KFNX.
Have you ever pulled in front of a listing, can't get a hold of anyone, and just wanted more info and photos?
That's so annoying.
Well, we have an app for you.
Simply text Elton to 32323.
It's completely free and downloads right to your mobile device.
So any real estate sign across the valley.
Text Elton to 32323 and get all the MLS info right to your phone.
Immediately.
The Elton Brothers, Realty One Group, putting real estate in the palm of your hand.
It's a beautiful day. Sky falls, you feel like it's a beautiful day.
Welcome back to Success Coach Andy. I'm Andy Shepherd of Shepherd Success Coaching, here with you every Monday at 9 p.m. on Independent Talk 1100 KFNX. Tonight I'm talking about From Dreadful to Dream, Your Life Transformed. Before the break, I took you through an exercise to inspire you to change. If you missed it, no problem. Just get in contact with me and ask for what you missed. Later in the show, you'll be getting details on how you can do that. So, now that we're determined to change, we need to look at how to get that change. So, when we're in places and situations we don't want to be, obviously we're going to feel bad. Okay, bear with me with what I'm going to say, please. Okay, I'm going to send a few of you are going to think I'm nuts, but if you just listen to what I'm going to say and then make a judgment at the end, that would be really cool. So I hope you can do that, okay? I see this bad feeling as being a good thing. Crazy? Maybe. Well, let me explain. I see it like an alarm bell, and alarm bells are really useful, aren't they? It's because they warn us of the dangerous situations. So when we listen, a disaster's averted. For example, if you've got a smoke alarm in your house, you're not going to turn around and start hitting it with a sledgehammer, though you might want to. You're going to look and see, assuming that it went off correctly because of something, you're going to see, okay, I've got a fire somewhere, and you're going to go and ring for the fire brigade to come along and put the fire out, and then fantastic, everything's cool. So the alarm was a good thing because it's saying something's going wrong. So I want you to look at these bad feelings now and see them as being something positive. Now what usually happens is that we look at them and we go, we just don't want pain, we don't want bad situations. So we look at these and say, hey, well, this is a bad thing and I wish I didn't feel bad. And we think, well, we can't get out of it. Well, listen to these shows that I've got because I'm going to show you ways out. I will show you that with the power of the mind, you can do anything and you can get anything that you want, okay? But it's step by step. I'm not telling you that you're going to be able to change everything overnight. So, right, well, let me tell you one thing. I went to see somebody called Esther Hicks in Long Beach, and the first thing that she said was, we're here to be happy. I'm not talking about taking drugs or getting drunk or taking pleasure out of the pain and discomfort of others. I'm talking about doing, there are other ways of feeling good. So I really want this for all of you. And when I say good, I'm thinking this feeling should be from whatever we're doing for the good of yourself, good of others, or good of everyone, which is benefiting you, others, or everyone. So she talks about this high-flying disc. So a high-flying disc is where you're in a really, really good state. And we've all been there. I'm sure at some stage you've had something really glorious that happened where you met that person that made your heart sing, or you got that car that you always wanted, or that job promotion, or whatever it was. And at that point, you're really tapped in, tuned in, and turned on to that really great high vibrational energy, if you like. The opposite is depression, which is like what she called a low-flying disc, and this is something we want to get away from. So whatever's happening, our minds are like an antenna, and it's basically telling the universe, telling God, whatever you call it, what we want. And if we're sending out bad signals, bad energy, we're feeling bad, then basically the universe, God, whatever, is thinking that that's what you want in return, and so it's going to give you that. So this is really not a good situation, is it? I mean, why would anybody want anything bad? So if you're feeling good, naturally you're going to be attracting good things to you. And the opposite is true. Feeling bad, you're going to attract bad stuff to you. So, something to bear in mind. One thing that stops a lot of people from going forward is something called fear. Well, I see fear as being something different. It's false evidence appearing real. And if you can see it as that, you're really going to be able to make a change. If you just tuned in, you're listening to Success Coach Andy. I'm Andy Shepherd on Independent Talk 1100 KFNX. I'm known as the Sherlock Holmes of success coaching. Set me hot on the trail of your Moriarty of all problems, past or present, and free yourself from its peskiness forever. I'll amaze you on how much I can track down in a mere 30 minutes, and I'm giving you a 30-minute session for free. That's right, no charge. Call me on 310-774-6691. That's 310-774-6691. Or email me on andy@successcoachandy.com. That's andy@successcoachandy.com. And book your free investigation today. So let's continue talking about how to get out of situations you don't want to be in. So now I'm going to go into a delicate and potentially hazardous area. So I'm going to give you some advice on a couple of areas about getting out of a bad job and a bad relationship. And, you know, we've got to be very careful in these situations because these are real life-changing things and they can have some very major impacts. So, you know, we need to do this very carefully. So what I'm going to talk about here is just general information, but I really recommend a few coaching sessions to get you through whatever process you're going through to decide what you can do. If you really have to stay in a job, you can't get out of it, what you need to do to make it good and make it work, or, you know, in a relationship as well. So let's look at a job that you don't like. So the first thing to do is look at what your life purpose is. And I covered this last week, basically. This is something that I coach people on. Once you've found your life purpose, then things are really flying because you know what you should be aiming for. So, you know, you can start working an exit strategy of how to get out of where you are and work on where you want to be moving towards, which is, you know, your ideal job. So the other thing, like I say, I mean, coaching is something I can do. I can work out a transition strategy for you. You need to be looking at finding what it is that you should be doing. So if you're talking about a bad relationship, a relationship that is dysfunctional, and I'm talking about any type of relationship here. It can be with a significant other. It could be with somebody, a colleague or something like this. They're all valid. One thing you need to remember is what I call the 5-person rule. You've probably heard of this already. We're the average of the 5 people we spend most of our time with. Well, I know you've heard it before, but you know, and maybe a lot of the things that you've heard me talk about tonight, you know, you've heard before. But be honest, I mean, are you putting it into practice? This is something that is really, really important. Because if you don't put it into practice, then you're really not going to get any benefit out of it. And I know that this is something so basic. But I believe that we need to go back to basics. I'm Andy Shepherd of Shepherd Success Coaching. When we return, I'll show you the 8 steps to getting on the trail of success and getting what you want. And I'll give you a free Sherlock Holmes track down of your Moriarty of a problem. You're tuned in to Success Coach Andy on Independent 1100 KFNX.
Join me, Shane Krauser, weekdays from 1 to 3 p.m. More freedom, less government, and we the people taking on the issues of the day. That's Liberty Storm with Shane Krauser, Monday through Friday from 1 to 3 p.m.
Are you experiencing frustration or desperation and you don't know the way out? There is a solution. There is light beyond the tunnel. Start to live life on your terms, the way you've always wanted. Visit SuccessCoachAndy.com. SuccessCoachAndy.com. Change can happen in an instant. To learn more about Andy's seminars or for opportunities to have him as your personal coach, call 310-774-6691. That's 310-774-6691.
We're here with Dr. Mark Murphy, the Medical Director of Depression Recovery Centers in Scottsdale. Welcome.
Thanks, Gavin. I'm glad to be here.
We've been hearing a lot of amazing things about ketamine treating depression on a national level. Researchers have called it the greatest development in depression science in the last 50 years. So, Dr. Murphy, what can you tell us about ketamine treatment for depression here in the Valley?
Ketamine's been used safely as an operating room anesthetic for over 40 years. Recent research has shown ketamine works to relieve severe depression extraordinarily well. At depression recovery centers, we see remission rates over 70% with patients who have tried several antidepressants without any relief. We offer a money-back mood guarantee and wish to work alongside your current mental health team. There is no longer a reason to let severe depression limit you or your loved one's life.
How can people get a free evaluation?
Go to depressionrecoverycenters.com and enter the code HAPPY on our contact form for a free evaluation.
What will you do when your stored supplies run out? Are you prepared? Hostile Hair provides equipment and education you need to control your own infinite food supply. We have live food storage systems, rabbits, quail, and other urban livestock for any situation and strategy. Don't be limited by what's on the shelves. Get started with an infinite food source today. Get prepped, stay fed with Hostile Hair. Call 480-331-3761, 480-331-3761, or visit hostlehair.com.
All of the independents out there that are not registered Republican or Democrat, you need to go to servicearizona.gov, get a ballot to participate in the primary. Do it now. Servicearizona.gov, get registered either Republican or Democrat. Now, as an independent, you can vote in the primary as an independent, but you got to fill out the paperwork. Servicearizona.gov. Fill out the paperwork, get registered to vote in the primary. Servicearizona.gov.
NARPro.com. Take 5.
If you're looking for a great mechanic, go to NARPro.com. Why? Because you'll get a shop dedicated to doing expert work at reasonable prices backed by strong warranties. NARPro.com, your link to great, honest auto repair.
It's mine.
Welcome back to Success Coach Andy. I'm Andy Shepherd of Shepherd Success Coaching, here with you every Monday at 9 p.m. on Independent Talk 1100 KFNX. Tonight I'm talking about From Dreadful to Dream, Your Life Transformed. So let me show you the 8 steps of getting on the trail to success and getting what you want. So the first step is that you need to decide what you want. Okay, so that's pretty easy, I guess. Then you need to go a bit deeper. So you need to decide why you want it. You might go, well, Andy, you're crazy. I want what I want because I know I want it. I just know that this is right. Well, if you ask the reason why and really look at it, then you may find that there's something better that could serve you. So I really recommend that you go through that process. The next thing that you need to do is you need to get some motivation. So you need to go through the process that I talked about earlier in the show. If you've missed it, you know, I'll give you some details. You can call me or email me about it. And, you know, you need to get some motivation. So you need to really look at how it's going to be if you don't make this change in, 6 months from now, a year from now, 2 years from now, and so on. So you need to think about what it will mean to you if you get what you want. How will it make you feel? And then, you really need to get this determination and commitment. So that goes from the motivation. But you've got to be determined. You need to say, right, I'm really definitely going for this. If it's a big change, you need to say, I've had enough, not another hour, not another minute, not another day, not another second. It's over. This is it. I'm making this change. I'm stopping drinking. I'm stopping smoking, whatever it is. At that moment, then great change can happen. And that's the determination that you've got to get to. As you go along, you need to celebrate each step, no matter how small it is. And this is really, really important, because most of us just celebrate right at the end, and you need to celebrate all of the little bits in between. And then, sure, right at the end, you will do a big celebration. The step 8 is law of attraction. So I'm sure you've heard of this from The Secret. So the first is, going through really, really super quickly, is that you need to think about what you want. And then the next part is you need to know that you deserve it. And that is what usually catches people out, because they think that they deserve it, but their subconscious is really getting to them, and they need the Sherlock Holmes of success coaching to go in there and really find out what it is, what is stopping the person from really getting what they want. Then you've got to imagine it as being as real as you can, using the 5 senses, seeing it, being able to touch it, smelling it, the sound, taste, if it's possible, if that's relevant to whatever it is. And you need to then believe that it exists really right here, right now, because the universe can't stand the difference between reality and imagination. Feel the joy of that being true, and go around and celebrating that it's real, and really, really feel great about it. This is super important. So that was, a very quick recap of what law of attraction is. And later I'll be talking about that in much greater detail in another show, of course, not today. If you have just tuned in, you're listening to Success Coach Andy. I'm Andy Shepherd of Independent Talk 1100 KFNX. I'm known as the Sherlock Holmes of success coaching. Set me hot on the trail of your Moriarty of all problems, past or present, and free yourself from its peskiness forever. It will amaze you at how much I can track down in a mere 30 minutes that I am giving away free. That's right, no charge. So call me on 310-774-6691. That's 310-774-6691. Or if you prefer, you can email me on Andy@successcoachandy.com. That's Andy@successcoachandy.com, and book your free investigation today. Okay, so what I'd like to do now is just tell you a little about the Sherlock Holmes of success coaching, how that I solve these mysteries. How do I track down and conquer any of the Moriarty of problems that you might have? And remember, I'm giving away a 30-minute consultation free. That's right, no charge. So before I start talking about that, I just want to say that there's going to be 3 possible thoughts that could be passing through your mind right now. The first is that you've listened to my show and that you realize that I know what I'm talking about, and you're ready to get stuck in and you want to start coaching with me right away. So that's great. You also know that whatever price I'm going to charge is going to be reasonable. So you just need to pick up the phone, give me a call, and let's get going. Let's get it started. Let's start transforming your life and getting it in the direction that you want to go. The second possibility is that you have a few questions, or you're not sure how the payments are or how much it is, and you just want to have a quick chat with me first, and maybe you even test me out. Like I say, I'm giving away a 30-minute consultation for free, so that might be something that's interesting to you. So again, pick up the phone, give me a call. I'll give you the number in a few minutes, and get in contact with me. Or even email me as well. The third possibility is that you think I'm a charlatan, I'm totally off my head, and you're probably not even listening to me right now. And I really hope that's not the case, but if it is, I'm going to have a little cry about it later and just think, well, that's sad, because I know that I can really, really help you, but, life goes on and I'll probably get over it. So let me tell you a little bit about the way that I work. Well, like I say, I work as a Sherlock Holmes, so I can track down and find out what is holding you back, which is, stopping you from moving forward. And I really do have a great affinity and ability to being able to do that. I Also, I work with goal setting and accountability. I know that goal setting is a swear word and we don't like to hear it, but it really, really is something that is very important. I talked to you about law of attraction earlier. Well, law of attraction is a definite science. It is reality. Only to a lot of you, it's going to sound as if it's like a load of hocus pocus, woo-woo, but, you know, it's for real. It does work. And I know a lot about this kind of stuff, so if that's interesting to you, that is a way that we can talk about. If it isn't, there's lots of other tools that I've got. Like I say, as a Sherlock Holmes, I'm really good at being able to find out what the problem is. And it's, you know, I've got an uncanny, almost sixth sense of being able to find out whatever it is that you need, so you can rely on that. Also, I'm authentic. Basically, everything that I talk about, I've tried out for myself. I've been in many, many situations because I've traveled all over the world. I had 14 years in Brazil. I owned a school which I built from zero. I worked for a big American company and, you know, was an employee at points. I'm now living in America, and I've had challenges in relationships, with money, with every kind of thing that you can imagine. So this is definitely something to bear in mind. So I do hope that you'll be interested in talking to me about that. We've been talking about From Dreadful to Dream, Your Life Transformed. We need to stop accepting where we are. We need to look at what it will look like in 5, 10, 20 or more years into the future if we don't change. With a newfound determination that we get from this, we need to find a way to get to where we want and to continue on that trail until we get the job done. Sherlock Holmes always wins, and so should you. I've been called the Sherlock Holmes of success coaching. So set me hot on the trail of your Moriarty of all problems, past or present, and free yourself from its peskiness forever. It will amaze you on how much I can track down in a mere 30 minutes, and I'm going to give you 30 minutes for free. That's right, no charge. Call me on 310-774-6691. That's 310-774-6691. Or email me on andy@successcoachandy.com. That's andy@successcoachandy.com, and book your free investigation today. I want to thank Braden for keeping the show running smoothly and all of you for listening. I'm Andy Shepherd of Shepherd Success Coaching. Tune in next week at 9 p.m. for more Success Coach Andy. Next week, I'll be talking about how to let go. This is something that a lot of people have difficulty doing, so be sure to listen in. You're listening to Independent Talk 1100 KFNX.